Hi, my dear students. I welcome you to my online class. Today, we are going to learn second part of the story from the diary of Anne Frank, part 2. Before starting our chapter, just we can recall the what we discussed, or we can recall what the previous day's class. I will describe. Annie Frank was born on June 1929 and died 1945. She and her family hid in her father's office building at the time of Nazi occupation Netherlands in the World War II. But they were caught, sent to concentration camp where Anne Frank died. Anne Frank wrote this diary in her 13th age, that means in her young age. She mentioned this diary from her life period from 1942 to 1944. All her life experience she mentioned in the diary. Then today we are going to learn remaining part. Dear students, please take page number 51. Anne Frank wanted their diary to be a friend, to be her friend. So she named it as her friend Kitty. Kitty is diary name. She considers diary as her friend. She wrote her brief sketch of her life. That means her life situation she wrote. Who is Annie Frank and who are the family members? All she wrote in her diary. She wrote her father marries her 25-year-old mother at the age of 36. That means father age is 36 and mother age is 25 at the time of their marriage. Her sister Margaret was born in Frankfurt in Germany in 1926. Annie was born on June 12, 1929. Her father emigrated to Holland in 1933. Emigrated means just to go there. 1933 with her mother Edith Hollander Frank. She is also with him. But Anne Frank and her sister were sent to Ashen to stay with their grandmother. Anne Frank and her sister Margaret were sent to her grandmother. After some time, Margaret went to Holland in December month, and after that, Annie followed in February. Anne Frank was sent to Montessori Nursery School. She stayed there until she was 6. In the 6th class, her teacher was Mrs. Couperus. Mrs. Couperus was Anne Frank's teacher. She is headmistress also. Both had tears. That means they had a close relation with her teacher. They both has tears when they bade farewell. At the time of goodbye, both had tears. That means after her 6th class, both she and her teacher had a close relationship. Then let us learn about her other experience. In summer of 1941, her grandma fell ill. She had to be operated upon. She died in January 1942. 1942, her grandma died. At the time of ill, that means 1941, there had no birthday celebration because her grandma was seriously ill. She thought of her greatly and loved well. The next year, they celebrated their birthday. 1942, they celebrated. The four of them were doing well till 20 June 1942. This is her life experience with grandma. Then, dear students, please take page number 52. Here, her diary starts about class affairs. The diary dated on June 20th, 1942. It was the day of declaration. It was the day of the declaration of result. Everyone in her class was in tension. That means this diary is about her class affairs. All are in tension. The reason was, what was the reason? Who would go to the next class and who wouldn't? That means passing and failing time is that. They bet about this also. And he found teachers as the most unpredictable creature on the earth. She was not worried about her girlfriends and herself. Annie never bothered about her friends and herself. She was sure to make that, but she was not sure about maths. In our life also, so many students were worried about maths subject. And Frank also like that. She was not sure about maths. They could wait. The result is coming. They could wait. They told each other not to be lost hurt, to be courageous. They told each other. Then she went along her teachers pretty well. That means Annie Frank has a good relation with her teachers. But Mr. Kesey was a dull person who taught them maths. That means maths teacher Mr. Kesey. Mr. Kesey is a dull person to her. He was always annoyed with her as she talked much. And Frank was very talkative student. So Mr. Keesing is annoyed with her. He gave her extra homework as a punishment. She talked too much in the class. That is why he gave her some extra punishment, extra homework as a punishment. It was in the form of an essay. Mr. Keesing teacher, maths teacher Mr. Keesing gave punishment like an essay. What an essay? He gave her essay topic, a chatterbox. A chatterbox, please write about this. She was unable to understand what she could write about it. She thought, that means essay. Teacher told her, please write about a chatterbox. She talked too much in the class. This was the punishment to her. In the evening time, she had done all her homework. She began thinking of the subject of the essay. Chatterbox is subject. She thought to write good poems of arguing to prove the necessity of talking. Then she had an idea. She got an idea. What? She then wrote 3 pages. After that, she wrote 3 pages about the topic to her satisfaction. She wrote that talking was a features of students. Features of a student. Her mother also used to talk much. Her mother also a very talkative person. She inherited this trait from her mother. She wrote this type of argument in her diary or in her essay. She tried to keep quiet. Mr. Keesing read it, that essay read 3 pages essay about topic is a chatterbox and laughed. He read and laughed. He gave her another essay. He gave another essay as he didn't stop talking. As she didn't stop talking, so he gave another essay. She was to write it on an incorrigible chatterbox. An incorrigible chatterbox is an essay. And he wrote it. And it satisfied Mr. Kesey. She didn't talk for 2 lessons. After this punishment, she stopped her talking up to finishing 2 chapters. But she started speaking again in 3rd lesson. He again asked to write an essay. This time topic was quack, 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 said Mistress Chatterbox. This was essay topic. The class too rolled into laughing. She also laughed because of that topic. She wanted to write something original now. Her friend Sani was good at poetry. She can write good poems. She helped her to write the essay in verse. Like poetry, she wrote this essay. Anne Frank had finished her poem. It was about a mother duck and a father swan with 3 baby ducklings. The 3 ducklings were beaten to death by her father. It was because they quacked too much. This was the content of the poem. This content was in direct indication to Mr. Keesing. Mr. Keesing had played a joke. Luckily, Mr. Keesing took the joke on the right way. It was a joke, but Mr. Keesing took the joke on right way. Mr. Keesing had played a joke on her, but she had it on him also. He read the poem to the class, adding his own comments. Since then, after this punishment, she wrote something in poem. After that, she had been allowed to talk in the class. She hadn't even been given extra homework. Mr. Kissing continued making jokes in the class. Then that problem solved in her life or in the classroom. Here, our chapter, The Diary of Anne Frank, is finished. Now I am going to conclude my words. This diary part you must learn. Here I am going to finish. If you have any doubt, please contact me. Thank you. Have a nice day.